Today is the day we've been waiting for. It's the day we bring our brand new 1984 Honda Civic back to the American Honda Collection Hall.
What do you say, Tommy? You up for doing 1,000 miles in a car that we basically haven't even yet done a shakedown in?
Yeah, so this is a car that Honda sent us, basically brand new. It had 69 original miles. They sent it to us to get running. Andy, our expert mechanic, has done that and will tell you how in this video. And then they told us to road trip it over 1,000 miles back to Southern California from Colorado. What do you think the chances we're gonna make it are?
I think our chances are pretty good. So today, Tommy and I and Andy are going to try to get to Las Vegas on night one and then see if on day two we can get all the way to a Cars and Coffee that's going on at Honda's headquarters in California.
Well, we are going to put over 10 times the mileage on this car in one day today, so let's go hit it. Zeroing out the trip computer, we've got 1,079 miles to drive back to the Honda American Collection.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big drive.
So this is a 1984 Honda Civic station wagon, and these are about as basic as a car from the 80s can come. So talk me through, Case, some of the things we are missing in this 84 Civic.
Well, I've got our handheld radio here because this car does not have a radio of its own.
At all.
We don't have AC, even though by the time we get to California, it's not gonna feel so much like October in Colorado.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what we do have. We got zip ties, Tommy.
Dude, we got plenty of zip ties. We got one mirror on the driver's side. We are in luxury over here.
Yeah, and those zip ties, they're big zip ties. So thank you for providing them. I think with those zip ties on our side, there's nothing that we can't do.
Nothing we can't do. We got a fire extinguisher and zip ties.
Also, that noise you'll notice.
There's a ready rattling. What is that?
There's something in the dash, yeah, that makes that clicking sound. It's not mission critical, so it was not the focus.
Clicking all the way to California.
Exactly.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Andy has gone through a lot of the mission critical systems on this car.
Yeah, timing belt, brake system.
Fuel system has been totally gone through, right?
Yeah, the whole fuel tank dropped in the fuel lines, everything.
But there are just so many remaining little plastic and rubber parts that could have corroded over the years, where this car is running very nicely. We're purring along here 55, 54 miles an hour like it's a brand new car. But there's just a lot of stuff that can go wrong in these very complicated vacuum-based carburetors and ignition systems that, yeah, I'm cautiously hopeful. Case, what a genius!
You don't know until you try it.
We're definitely making it to California now. Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Oh.
So this is the first time we're gonna be taking our little 84 Civic on the interstate. Now, Case, walk me through the engine and the horsepower.
1.5 liter 4-cylinder, 5-speed manual transmission, 76 horsepower.
That's full throttle. I'm gonna be kind of ginger on this engine because it's still being broken in, so I'm gonna shift at 3,500 RPM.
Yeah.
The problem is, Case, there's not a lot of power in this engine, so to kind of just get up to traffic speed, you gotta ring it out.
A little bit, at least a little bit.
That's
and it's gonna be interesting too to see how the 5-speed likes, you know, go in 70 or 75 mile an hour. This is a pretty fast stretch of highway here.
69!
71!
Woo! The speed! So actually, this car cruises along beautifully. You think a car that's been sitting for 40 years is gonna have really perished seals around the windows. But that part of the car is in great shape. Like, it doesn't leak. All of the seals and the door seals actually are in really nice shape, so it's not particularly loud in here.
No, I'd be surprised if this is really any noisier than it would have been in this car when it was new.
The car is absolutely tiny, but because of really the lack of safety features is one of the big reasons, you got a huge amount of space in here.
Yeah, we've got a pretty tall roof, a massive greenhouse, so our windows are really tall, so our view out of this car, our view of this semi-truck passing us is...
Don't love that.
We've got a really good view of it, yeah. Look, this is back when cars really were just basic transportation, which is really cool, because a thing like this doesn't exist anymore. But you do feel like you're driving around a tin can, which is how cars used to be.
Exactly. Let me check my passenger mirror. Oh no, no passenger mirror.
Yeah,
Nope.
but you don't need it, because you can see.
You know, people say like, cars without tint are like being in a fishbowl.
It really feels like we're in a fishbowl, yeah. We're on display.
There is no hiding whatever is happening in this car, ever.
No.
Anybody can see anything at any time.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
There's no getting away with anything in this car.
Not in this car. This is going to be one of the most interesting parts of this journey, because to get from our home base in Berthoud, Colorado to California, which is at sea level, we actually have to go up, way up, before we can go down.
There are quite a few mountains for us to cross before we get to the coast. I'm not sure that it's going to be quite the trek that it was for Lewis and Clark, but it is going to be a task.
We are starting our first climb outside of Denver, Colorado. So third gear, we're about to start the climb of I-70 in Floyd Hill. So that's third gear, about 50 miles an hour, 4,000 RPM. That seems kind of where this engine is happiest right now.
Yeah.
Not all the way pinned, but pretty close to it. Guys, this was an era of car, especially talking to like my parents that spent a lot of time in Colorado in the 80s. People weren't doing 85 miles an hour up by 70 like they are now doing now, right? They were doing 50, 55 in a lot of cases. Luckily, we did put some break-in miles on this car.
Yeah.
So we bought it. Well, we bought it. Honda sent it to us with 69 miles.
Yeah.
Brand new, never titled, right? It was never sold. And then in the process of getting it running, we had it up to about 220 something miles just to kind of ease the engine into life. One mod we did have to do, which I'm going to click on now actually, is we have a switch to control the auxiliary fans.
Yeah.
And actually we went ahead and replaced the temp sensor and some of those components, and the fan just isn't working as it should be relative to the engine temp. So we have a manual switch now where we can actually click it on if our temps start to get high on some of these climbs.
Yeah, and that fan is pretty powerful. It really does a lot to cool the car off. But there was a deadline for us to be able to do this trip. So ideally, we don't want to do this when it's full-on winter and snowing here in the mountains.
Yeah.
So this was our deadline, and again, I mean, we had to sort out the things that are mission critical, and then this jerry rig to kick on the fan is something that's 100% reversible. It's not messing with anything with the original wiring harness, but it's just a way for us to be able to kick on this fan when we need it for this trip.
100%. Well, dude, that was the first climb done. We got a bunch more coming up, especially over Vail Pass, but it's feeling good so far, this little car.
Yeah, it's really pretty happy at speed. I'm impressed.
So folks, this is Andy Smith. Andy's been our Honda guru on this entire project. He's going to tell us later on everything he did to this car. But before then, we're just going to check the oil, see how we're looking. Look how clean that is, Andy. Brand new. So there you see, Andy, we got our low line and our high line, and right now the clean oil is right in the middle, so we're looking good.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, nice and clear.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I had one, my family had one of these when I was a kid. The guys that got this thing from the Honda collection.
Yeah, we're driving it back to him.
TFL.
Right on, yeah. You want to be in our little video?
I can be, but I'm not great on camera.
Sure. Just roll case.
Yeah. So you said you had one?
Yeah, my family had one. When we moved to the States, this was our first car. It was this exact same tan brown color.
No way.
Yeah.
What year do you think?
85, 86.
Same exact car. Yeah, this was an 84, right? Case?
Yep.
So what do you think? You think it's pretty cool?
I love it. I still love these. I still have my first car. This is what sparked my love of Hondas, and I still have my 91 Accord. To this day, refuse to get rid of it. It's a horrific piece of crap, but that's my fault, not Honda's. But this is the one that started it. I love it.
Well, dude, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, hopefully we get her back in one piece. So far, so good.
Yeah.
45 miles an hour up the mountains.
Yeah, listen, that's all you need. You're always making forward progress.
So we're here at a gas station outside of Idaho Springs, Colorado. We're gonna fill this little Civic up and see what kind of fuel economy we get on our next fuel stop, which I'm really excited about. And we just met a fan who watches the channel and is really into old Hondas. And what I'm finding is that this little car draws people out of the woodwork. Everybody has an old Honda story, and it's just so cool to see. This is one of the worst parts about road tripping through Colorado people don't talk about. Interstate 70, it closes frequently and often for weather or construction or blasting for rocks, and it can be an absolute mess. So we're trying to make it 12 hours, something like 790 miles to Las Vegas. I'm not sure we're gonna do it. And now we're back on the interstate in the little Civic. This is always a little scary because we have such a tight merge to make. There we go. Case is riding with Andy in the camera truck behind me, getting some shots of this 84 going down the road. What an interesting experience driving this car on a road trip. Now, I take a lot of road trips in modern vehicles, and it's such a mind shift change going to this 1984, because in a modern car, I'd have my cruise control set to 65, adaptive cruise control, I'd have my lane centering on, I'd have my tunes going on the radio or a podcast streaming through Apple CarPlay, and you just kind of check out and engage with whatever's happening on the giant 20-inch screen in the middle. This Honda forces you to slow down, literally and figuratively, and enjoy the road trip as an experience. This car doesn't have cruise control. It doesn't even have power steering. So it is an active driving experience piloting this car down the road. It's not difficult, it's just active. I'm engaged with what is happening in the outside world. I feel the bumps and the cracks and the holes come through this manual steering, and I know exactly what's happening underneath all four tires. Same thing with the brakes, right? This is a living beast. You have to interact with it. You have to work this 5-speed manual transmission, and you have to be respectful of the terrain you're going over when you only have 76 carbureted horsepower at over 8,000 feet above sea level.
Tommy, we're going through the tunnel now for our Ike Gauntlet.
Woo! This is gonna be one of the highest points of the trip. We are now at 11,000 feet above sea level.
How's the horsepower feel?
What horsepower? The horse is doing okay.
The one?
Yeah, she's working hard here. I am a little worried, Case, though, because our phones are saying winter storm warning up ahead.
Yeah.
That's not a great thing. I mean, we do have a heater, but here's the thing about this trip, right? Is we've got a lot of comments, people saying you can't drive it, it's a museum piece. The thing is, the museum directors want us to drive it because they know that this car was meant to be driven, and they want us to tell the story of this Civic, which is why we're taking this road trip. I've never driven this car at night.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the green glow behind those gauges. You might also notice that 55 is illuminated, right? See that little yellow? This is from the era of the mandated 55-mile-an-hour speed limits.
Well, there's a different reason that you can't drive 55.
Yeah, it's not out of spite, it's out of a lack of horsepower. This is probably going to be the hardest part of our drive, which is funny because now the weather is just coming in.
Perfect. Our windshield wipers are working well, though. We've got new wiper blades.
That's right. The switch actually was so stuck in one position, we had to free it to make it work. But look at this intermittent wipers in 84. Oh. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So Vail Pass is one of the more legendary mountain passes in Colorado.
Yeah.
Super, super steep. You often see semis doing like 32 miles an hour up this pass.
I've also seen plenty of vehicles pulled over, overheated, and just brought to the edge and beyond on the side of the road here because it's a tough thing to drive up and down.
100%. Now we're doing 52 miles an hour indicated, which is more like 45. But the engine is purring along beautifully, about 3,000 RPM in fourth gear. The reason that this car has been such a headache to get back on the road is because of the fuel system in this car. And that's going to be any car that sits for 40 years without running, but specifically this one. And I've talked to a bunch of folks like the Honda Hoarder, right, who's one of the Honda experts in our area. Anything with fuel injection, late 80s, early 90s that Honda built, will last till the end of time and will likely run perfectly.
Yeah.
It's the carbureted stuff from the mid-80s that is the most problematic because there are so many vacuum lines for emissions to keep this car legal back in the day that as things start to age, charcoal canisters and actuators, they just fail.
These cars are meant to work. They're meant to run. All the seals, all the rubber components are meant to see fluids and see heat cycles.
Everybody that still has these mid-80s Civics that are still kicking, I shouldn't say everybody, 95% of people it seems that has them, just sticks a basic Weber carb from AutoZone on it. They're easy to tune. You get rid of the vacuum systems and you just run them like that. And it does run very nicely.
Yeah, it does.
It's not perfect. Like, we're experiencing some idle stuff, which is still not 100% right, but the car is running very nicely and this engine's just purring along. It's not making any knocks or ticks or weird sounds. So I'm pretty happy with where it's at. And I think, Case, we made it up to the top of Vale Pass. Still no snow, but that's not going to be here for much longer.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where along our journey we're going to potentially run into some weather. It's not right here, which is a good thing because these are steep parts of this highway drive, but we're going to start losing altitude as we get to California.
All right, I'm hoping that'll clear things up a little. All right, so we are 212 miles into our journey, and where are we stopping here, Case? Where are we stopping for lunch?
Qdoba, it's almost as good as Chipotle.
That's right, this is like a fast casual Mexican place. We're gonna let the car sit here in the parking lot and cool off. Not that it's hot, but you know, we're gonna try to be gentle with her and we're gonna go get some delicious, slightly better Taco Bell.
Yeah, our temps have actually been looking pretty good. We need food.
6.6 gallons. Could that be right, Andy?
I would think, especially from back in the day.
So that means we averaged 33.87 miles per gallon. That's pretty good.
Well, on average, this would probably be 35 or more, but we've been ripping along here pretty good because, again, 55 miles per hour was the posted speed limit.
We're pulling back onto the road in the Civic after a quick lunch. And of course, we want to get Andy behind the wheel because you put so much effort into getting this car running. Tire fuel system, so the whole fuel tank, you dropped out of it. You ran
fuel lines.
Yeah, all the fuel lines. Of course, the carb has been on and off a number of times, and you've been deep into that carburetor. You've worked on a boatload of carburetors. This is...
that's my, being the age I am, that was long before fuel injection was a normal thing in cars.
Yeah, and I mean, beyond hundreds. How many carbs do you think you've tuned?
I couldn't count, but hundreds would be accurate. And they're all the same way. It doesn't really matter. Even on this carb, my familiarity with Honda and Honda products made it really very easy to work on.
There's a lot of vacuum lines going to that carburetor.
They are very well tested.
Yeah.
I did find one little hole in one of the vacuum lines, and that would have been a leaker. I put a lot of hours into this thing to make it work.
Now, of all the carburetors that you've worked on in those hundreds and hundreds of carbs that you have messed with over the years, how many would you say have fought you this much?
None.
Yeah? Is this number one?
It is number one. There's no question. But the reason for that being is, back in the day, there were carburetor shops or shops where you could take a carburetor and have it dipped. And the chemical compounds they were using back then, you could literally get a new carburetor out of it because of what they're doing. We don't have that option today. Basically, what I did to get this tank clean once I dropped it out was methanol. Methanol is a tree sap remover and a detailing. It's a commercial level, a half a gallon at a time to prep that tank and soften it up.
And I saw some of what came out of the tank, and it was dark brown. It was pretty nasty. Same things with some of the other fluids. So a few other things that have gone on with this car. Obviously, you did the transmission fluid, engine oil has been done a couple times.
Every liquid in it has been replaced.
So every fluid, the timing belt.
Brakes, I have a smile on my face now because 2 of the 4 wheels were not functional.
And they were pumping air.
They were pumped. Well, yeah. Actually, they were locked up. That's the only reason we had a firm pedal, with using only 2 of the wheels as brakes. So it was pretty sketchy when we first started running this thing.
Yeah, and it took, I know you said quite a bit of time to get the brakes dialed, but now the brakes are absolutely dialed.
No, I'm real happy with this right now. It's zipping along here. I'm just tickling the throttle and doing 65.
So, Case, we are cruising through Utah. We're about just over halfway through the state and almost halfway through our journey to Southern California.
Exactly. So if the total journey is about 1,080 miles, we're at 520 right now. So 540 will be exactly halfway. And I did a little something special, Tommy. I wanted to celebrate that moment. Tommy actually doesn't know this yet. Oprah style, if you want to check the little storage bin under your seat.
Here, let me get a GoPro going. Let's see what you got. Oh, Case! The Sour Flush!
The Sour Flush.
Hey, what else
One of your
do we got
favorites,
here?
right? We have, well, you've seen Takis before, but these are Turbos Flamas.
What else we got in here?
A big iced honey bun.
What is this?
I don't know.
Where did you find these candies?
Just the kinds of things that you find out when you travel. There's no better education than travel.
Those are dang
Yeah?
good. This has been kind of a slog across Utah, to be honest with you. There's not been a lot going on to really report, but let me give you an update. We're not going super fast. So the thing about the Rocky Mountains in Colorado is they're straight up and then straight down and then flat, and then straight up and then straight down and then flat. So you might be doing like 45 for some of it, but you're back to 65 on the way down.
Yeah.
The problem with Utah is it's just been a gradual, mind-numbing climb most of the states.
It is.
And the car just can't do anywhere near the 80 miles an hour speed limit. So the winter storm warning has turned out to be just kind of a nasty rain.
Yeah.
And then it's gotten down into probably the 40s. So I think if we waited much longer, we'd be in the snow.
On the plus side, when we get this car back to California, the first thing they're doing that very same day is detailing this car for us for the car show that's on Saturday.
That's right, although according to our comments, it might be totaled
Oh yeah.
by the time we get there with the rain.
Hey, you know, it is a little bit of wear and tear, to be fair, but I'll tell you what, getting to take this car on a journey is excited, and I think the car's excited about going on an adventure too.
Seems pretty happy.
I think so.
This door seal is seeming to get louder and louder the more we drive, though.
Well, is yours all the way closed? It might could use a little,
no.
You need a little extra. Oh, beautiful. It's like a Rolls Royce in here
My
now.
fault. I blamed Honda quality for something that was very clearly my fault.
Yeah, we're perfect.
Oh, look at that.
And we're also, I'm amazed. This is not a huge tank in this car, but the range is actually really pretty good. Both of the times that we've stopped, at least indicated on the dash, we've been at like a half a tank.
Yeah.
So we're sipping fuel. It's impressive.
That last stretch, we did like 180, 190 miles,
Yeah,
and it was still a half a tank.
I know.
And that Maverick had ethanol-free gas, which is great for a carburetor.
Absolutely. So now the car should be as happy as ever. Things just keep getting better.
Just keep getting better. Now, look, I think as always, Case and I had this big discussion at the office before we left. I was a little ambitious as to how long this trip was going to take. And when we left the ranch this morning, it said we'd be in Vegas by like 7:30. And I think if we make it to Vegas by like 10:30, we're going to be doing pretty good. So Case, we are about to cross a major milestone in the life of this little 84 Civic.
Yeah, except the speedo needle's kind of in the way, but we're about to crest 1,000 miles. For the first time, we're going to be into 4 digits on this car. There is a 10th mile indicator on this odometer, and look at that. 1,000.
Hey, woohoo! So we've driven 740 miles today, which, look, in the grand scheme of long-haul trucking is nothing, but for a unknown quantity here, I think that's pretty good.
What do we got, Tommy?
So last stop of the night, Case and Andy, and one of the cool things about these Mavericks here in Utah is they have clear gas, ethanol free, which should be better for our car, right guys?
Very much so. Think about the gas in 1984 for this car. It was nothing like today's fuel.
Not brought to you by Maverick, but yeah, no, it's good to have some gas that's going to make our car even happier.
Yeah.
But it really does not take a whole lot. We've been stopping every 200 miles or so, and it's never taken 10 gallons.
No, absolutely not. I think it's a 12-gallon tank, something like that. But yeah, the little guy doesn't use a lot of gas, not a lot of power. It's
No.
what you wanted in 1984.
That's the trade-off.
Now, Case and I both kind of have the same takeaway with this car. Even though it's in very good condition for the age, and even though the engine is running very nicely at speed, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence over like 73 miles an hour.
No, it doesn't feel like a high-speed highway car, and in all fairness, this is from that 55-mile-per-hour highway era.
Yes. And then the other problem we're noticing is the square design is very cool and retro, but we've had a lot of crosswinds today, and wow, does it get thrown around with the crosswinds.
The car is so light, and it is pretty slab-sided, which is part of what makes it look cool, but it does get tossed around by the wind. And once again, it just goes to show how much development there has been in the modern automobile. It's impressive.
So we got 87 miles to go, so all set today we will have driven about 830 miles, which I think is pretty dang good.
Yeah,
it's a good
great
chunk
start.
of the trip. And then we're gonna park this thing up at our resort/casino and get a good night's sleep, and then hit the road again tomorrow morning. Welcome to day 2, starting here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And Andy had a great idea before we get going here. Engine is nice and cold. We're gonna go ahead and check the oil. I'm gonna grab a rag, but look how good that's looking, Andy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Again, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's looking like it should. It's a little darker in color from our first pull.
Yep.
It's normal. The engine's breaking in.
Absolutely. We got over 1,000 miles on it, so now we can really let her rip, Andy.
Yeah, let's open it up, Tommy.
So we have another 270 miles today to go, about 4 hours on Google Maps, which at our speeds is probably closer to 5 hours, to Torrance, California, and then back to the American Honda Collection Hall for tomorrow's Cars, Bikes, and Coffee show.
Boy, I got my coffee already, so I'm looking forward to it.
Let's hit it. Day 2 in the 84 Civic. Now this is a really big day. This is homecoming for the old girl, and in honor of such a momentous day, I have dressed in my finest 80s gear. Now this is gonna be a very, very exciting day. 270 miles, bombing it across Nevada and Southern California to get to Torrance, which is just south of Los Angeles. Cars seem to be running really well this morning. We got a little bit of a clunk out of the rear suspension. I'm thinking maybe one of the bushings is kind of starting to let go, maybe in that rear shock, but still tracking straight. We got a lot of wind that we're contending with today, which is not ideal, but the little Civic is just cruising along, 72 miles an hour, bright sunny day. Hopefully we're out of the worst of the storms that we started to hit yesterday. We're gonna bomb this car to Honda HQ this afternoon. Fingers crossed we make it. And then they're gonna get her show ready, and we're gonna get her on display. Really cool day. California, baby! Wahoo! Case and Andy are behind me in the chase truck right now, but we're driving through what looks like Dante's Inferno. We've just had crazy wind gusts this morning in the desert of California. I mean, they must be 30, 35 miles an hour, and the car just gets absolutely taken for a ride. And now we're going through this little dust storm, which is it's almost otherworldly. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but we should be seeing this beautiful desert landscape with the mountains, and all we see now are wind and sand and maybe smog. It's a crazy welcome to California, just outside of Baker, California here. Absolutely nuts. Here's our final fuel stop outside of Barstow, California. You know we're in California because we're paying $5.30 per gallon. Oof. Oh.
Yikes.
That's brutal. Ooh. But you know, it's got that good SoCal gas. It's higher quality, that's why it's more expensive.
Sure. Yeah, that's why it's more expensive.
Absolutely. Exactly right. And we are going to calculate our fuel economy, because this one tank took us through the southern part of Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Yeah, so we went a long way from St. George, Utah, all the way to basically Barstow, California. So we're gonna see what kind of fuel economy we got going through the desert.
As good as we were.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So 8.78 gallons, so 271 miles. So let's do the math. 271 divided by 8.78 gallons, we averaged 31, which is not bad. So our fuel consumption is pretty good, considering we were doing mostly like 70, wouldn't you say, Case? 73 in some of those areas?
Yeah, good pace.
Yeah, so 31, not bad. No dribbles. Woo! Case, we're less than 140 miles from our destination.
We are closing in. This is the final stretch. Trip's been easy.
It's been really easy. There's a lot of steering that goes on the crosswinds. I think one of my criticisms of the third generation 84 Honda Civic station wagon, it's very susceptible to crosswinds. If I was John Davis at Motor Week, I would definitely put that in my voiceover.
Absolutely, but luckily for the current generation Civic 40 years later, they fixed that.
They did, yeah, but look, the car is an absolute little peach to drive. Its happiest kind of around 67 to 72 miles an hour is kind of where the engine seems to be the most satisfied. The 1984 Honda Civic station wagon in hearing aid beige with no power windows, no power locks, no radio, no AC. This was not a particularly aspirational ride.
And it is cool, actually, to see how much people out there care about this car, and seeing it on video and what this vehicle is. It's prompted a really strong response for good reason, because this car in this condition is such a special thing. And I think you really realize that once you pull it outside of that museum context.
Yeah, for sure. And you can you really need to take a trip like we've done here to understand the magic of this car. So, Case, we've had this car in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. We've had it on the wide open plains of Utah and Nevada. We've got one last challenge for the old girl. We've got Southern California traffic, and then we're back home. I can't believe it, but we are just 1.7 miles away from the North American Honda headquarters.
I know, I feel like we need to sabotage ourselves or something because this trip has just been a breeze.
It has been unbelievably smooth. Hang on, big truck. Yeah, Case, what an amazing little machine and what a fantastic road trip.
Yeah, really our only challenges were hills and wind.
Yes, but Case, in the city is where this car really shines, right? The maneuverability, the visibility, the fuel economy, this is really where this car is happiest.
Oh, here we go, we're pulling in.
I think we did it.
Honda, the sign says so.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Look at this! Heck
So-
yeah!
This is it, and actually Honda's collection hall is just behind these walls, so this car is officially home.
It made it!
Should we stop up front here?
I think we probably should. What's going on, buddy?
Congratulations, that's
Thanks,
amazing.
dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, it still looks hopefully as good as it did.
Oh,
when you
it
lent
does.
to us.
Hey, I'm Carl.
Carl,
I-
I'm
I've
Andy
been-
Smith.
I've been watching all of the videos, and so I recognize you.
What do you think?
That's absolutely gorgeous.
I was not convinced when we left that it was going to make it because of all the work this man had to do to get it on the road. But it's here, running beautifully. Crazy, huh?
Look at that.
Isn't that a good shot? She's back home, Carl.
And it was actually, this building didn't exist when we sold this. 6 years later, 1990, we moved from Gardena, which was our second headquarters after our Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles. But yeah, this would have been, you know, I would imagine that there was district service managers, there was associates that drove this very car past this entrance to come to work in 1990. It would only been 6 years old. So.
Unreal. Well,
Yeah.
Carl, thank you again for letting us do this. We're going to hand off your baby back to you, let you do your thing, and we'll catch back up with you tomorrow.
Fantastic. Look at what Tommy just came rolling up in. Dude,
Baby!
is that why you were wearing that very cool 80s style jacket?
My collar. Oh!
Now you look like an SI guy. I was
Yeah.
wondering why you were dressed so cool for the beige Civic.
I know.
SI. Well, this is going to be exciting.
Something exciting. That's what that stands for.
Something interesting, maybe?
Interesting.
Exciting is, well, yeah, that's all right.
Check this out, Case. Look at that.
Wow. Oh, the cloth. Oh, dude, look at the shifter. Look at the color of the gauges.
I know, Case. We have upgraded in life.
That is pretty neat. Is that a digital clock
Is that a radio, Case?
and a radio? Does this have AC too?
Let's not.
No, it's a
let's not get
performance car.
Too ambitious.
Yeah. What am I thinking? Look how long the door is.
Dude, this is something a little special. 5-speed manual, bucket
Oh yeah.
seats.
It's got a passenger side mirror. Wow, and actually a pretty massive sunroof.
Dude, this thing is just the cool. Do you want to pop the hood?
I do want to pop the hood actually. That is something I would enjoy.
Wait, now you see.
Whoa! Okay, that's pretty cool. I like the head on this.
12 valve.
It's a 12 valve. I love 12 valves.
Programmed fuel injection. We are living large. So the guys at Honda, as a reward, Case, for us driving that beige wagon across country, have lent us this bright red 86 sport injected SI Civic for a couple hours. And if you want to see that video, where can they go, Case?
If you keep your eye on TFL Classics or go to alltfl.com, you will see a video of us driving this on the mean streets of LA.
And that's coming up next week. So we've been walking around the show and there's one car here that really caught my eye and it's this gorgeous Honda Civic sedan. I got the owner here. Sir, what's your name?
My name's Brian.
Brian. Yeah. So this is your, you said 87 Civic.
It's an 87. It's not really mine.
Okay.
It's more like my wife's car.
And what's the story with this car?
It's a 1987 Civic sedan. It was purchased by my, would be my mother-in-law's cousin. So my wife's great aunt's daughter.
Wow.
She was going to school at the University of Illinois at Chicago and purchased the car brand new there. She passed away at a young age, unfortunately, but it came back to California and it lived most of its life in a garage in Northridge, California.
Wow.
It's got 71,500 plus original miles on it.
Unreal.
Original paint, original interior.
Casey, you may want to get a shot of this. Probably my favorite little detail in this car is on the steering wheel. You got the Honda, and they proudly display the power steering.
Power steering.
They're really proud of that.
The great thing about this car is my daily driver is a 2023 F250.
Wow.
I love that truck.
Yep.
Love that truck. It's just beautiful truck. But when I get in this thing and go run my errands, I realize how difficult it is to park a Ford F250 in the west side of LA. But look at the Civic little emblem here, the plate, whatever you want to call this.
Yeah.
My detailer shined this thing up, and other than a little scratch right there, I swear this whole thing looks brand new. Now my question for you guys, it's the 84 wagon.
Yep.
Where is it?
It's getting detailed over there.
Are you kidding? You guys drove it all the way
Yeah, we
out?
did.
Yep.
Nice.
It's here.
Very nice.
So this right here is the lobby of the American Honda headquarters, and this is the American Honda Collection Hall. Our buddy Carl, who lends us that 84 Civic, put this all together. They rotate collection here and they showcase. Right now we have some of the hits of Honda's concept cars over the years. We also have some production vehicles around the corner, some really cool bikes, and it's all here available and open to the public. So Andy, we got an entourage down to the front of the headquarters here. Boy, 76 horsepower.
It's a ripper.
It's a ripper, Andy. So folks, 1,135.3 miles exactly. And the car still looks as good and runs a heck of a lot better than it did when they dropped it off, huh?
Unbelievable.
We're here. We made it, dude.
All right, so I'd like to introduce you to Tommy Micah. This is what the American Honda Collection Hall is all about. It's not just to see vehicles statically displayed, because cars are meant to be driven, motorcycles are meant to be ridden. I'd like to introduce you to Tommy, and he can tell you a little bit about the project.
Thank you, Carl. I really appreciate it. Carl approached us with a really unique idea, which was to revive the Civic, which has been sitting in the collection for 40 years. And it was the adventure of a lifetime. And we kind of figured it was a Honda, drained the fluids, put some gas into it, hit the road, and it was not that easy. And I want to give a huge thank you to Andy Smith. He's the guy who made this possible. He's been a Honda mechanic for 37 years. And let me tell you what, the amount of hours he has in this fuel system alone has probably aged him 35 years, because it was like tree sap in that tank. But this, folks, is what makes this company special. No other company ever would allow you to do something like this, but Carl and his team realized that Honda is about mobility, it's about moving forward, and this car moved forward a long ways at very slow speeds. So big thank you to everybody involved. Thank you to Andy and my videographer Case, and I appreciate this opportunity. It was a blast. Well, Case, that is a wrap on the 84 Civic project.
Yeah, it is, and it's so cool seeing this car now surrounded by people who are excited about it. Now that it's outside the museum, it's gone and done something huge. Yeah, what a trip.
Absolutely. And folks, thank you so much for watching and making the series happen. And a huge thank you to Carl and the American Honda Collection for putting this on. This was huge.
Absolutely, and stay tuned next week for the Civic SI.
Yep, thanks guys.